There you go.
We're recording. I don't take my glasses off because I feel like that'd be kind of stupid that we're.
No, you look worse with them off.
Do I really? Damn it! All right, let me break out the sunglasses.
You look like Franklin the Turtle.
Oh, now you don't think Franklin's a cool guy. Right.
I'm sorry. That's a hell of a way for me to come back on the show. I'm very sorry.
Now, welcome to week 10 of Shameful Locks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you weren't already aware or could tell, our Supreme Leader has decided to join us for the mid-season award. I think he opened a beverage of alcoholic content.
No, that's juice.
That's welcome to Supreme Leader, everybody. And
good pull. Good pull.
All hail. But yes, welcome to week 10 here on Shameful Locks. It is Thursday night. We're recording. It's 9:56 p.m. The Panthers are playing the Bears. Bears are losing 10-9. It's probably because Justin Fields isn't playing. That's all I can say about that. But how's everyone doing? Are we starting off well? Having a good Thursday?
Yeah, I'm all my off-screen bets haven't been hitting either. So I'm down to $17 in my FanDuel account. We started the season at I want to say 220. So yeah, I'm not optimistic. I'm hoping to come back on here and catch a little of your guys' good juju or some of Blake's undefeated Shameful Lock pick juju. Hoping to get some of that. So
yes, and I just want to state that hexes are real, and Tim has one. They're killing him on the betting slate.
Yeah, it's kicking my ass.
But we'll go ahead and start off here with the recap of last week. It wasn't a great week for some of us. Again, I mean, shocker, I didn't do well. But we'll start with Blake since he did do well. He had Jets plus 3.5. His only loss of the week. Unfortunately, the Jets sucked dick, and we forgot. So that did not hit. His next pick, his player prop of the week, was Dalton Kincaid over 38.5 receiving yards. W. He won 0.87 units on that one. And then his third and final pick, which is his Shameful Lock of the week, was Saquon Barkley over 76.5 rushing yards. Blake is now moving to 5-0 on his Shameful Locks. Undefeated. It probably feels great. I wouldn't know. We'll probably ask him in a second. But Blake went up 0.74 units last week, and he is up 3.85 units on the year, a record of 16-11. Mr. Blake Profio, how does it feel to be undefeated on your Shameful Locks?
Yeah, it feels good. I feel like there's more luck involved with it than anything. Kind of just pick a line that looks good, and hopefully they perform. So it's been good so far.
Don't be modest.
Yeah, I'd strongly disagree. It's definitely skill based.
It's all luck, man. That's what it is.
That's ridiculous.
Just like how the NFL is rigged, man. It's all just a game.
All right, I'll start with my picks here. I went 1-2 this week. I had Dolphins, Chiefs under 50.5. That was the Germany game. And everyone was on the over, and I decided to zag when everyone else zigged. It went well. I won that one. My only win of the week. And then I had Alvin Kamara for my player prop going over 98.5 receiving plus rushing yards. That did not hit. That was actually a pretty brutal beat for me. He had 70 yards total, and he had a season low 13 touches. I think before that, his season low was 21. So he got significantly less touches. Big L. And then my lock of the week was a 2-leg parlay of Bengals plus 3.5. That hit. And Jets plus 10.5, like we already stated. Last week, we all forgot that the Jets suck. We'll try to keep that in mind going forward. But since we are halfway through the season, I think it's a good time to come back and talk about our season-long bets. So we'll run through these real quick. All three of us have actually given out these already. We'll start with Blake here. So his first season-long pick for the preseason futures was Steelers over 8.5 wins. It's looking pretty solid. Steelers are 5-4, correct?
5-3.
5-3. His next lock was Cooper Kupp over 1,225.5 receiving yards. I think you need some pretty good luck there on that one. It's not your fault, really. He started the season missing the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then Stafford got hurt. That just stinks, right?
Yeah, he's at looks like 364. So that's probably not going to hit, but unlucky. That's all.
Hey, if there's anyone who's going to have 150 yards a week, it's probably going to be Tyreek Hill or Cooper Kupp. So never rule them out yet. but doubtful for sure. And then this one's looking pretty good for you, Blake. Here, your last season-long bet was T.J. Watt to be the season-long sack leader. That was plus 850, and T.J. Watt is currently tied for second with 9.5. First place has 10.
Yeah, he's an animal. He's gonna turn it on the second half of the year. They need him, so he always performs. So he's gonna finish on top. He might break the sack record. So you never know.
Yeah, and that looks good for you. I'm happy for you on that one. A
Thanks,
little
man.
jealous. I would actually say green jealous.
Who's 10? Is that Max Crosby?
I think it's Danielle Hunter of the
yeah,
Vikings, maybe.
That's correct.
Okay.
So Crosby has 9, I think 9.5 also, and so does Myles Garrett.
Gotcha.
Correct.
So
3-way tie for second.
So my picks here for the season long bets, I had Jaguars over 10 wins. That's looking pretty good. I believe they have 6 already. I think they're 6-2. So that feels pretty good. Little room for margin for error there if they want to have a few games skid, but hopefully not too many. Then this one looks terrible. Bears to make playoffs. That's just not happening. Justin Fields would have to come back next week, and they would have to play phenomenal down the stretch. No shot. And then Calvin Ridley to get 1,000+ receiving yards. That's actually been really disappointing to me because I was really high on him all offseason. Wouldn't stop talking about him. I'm not saying it's over, but his prediction right now is like 943 yards to finish the season. So that would be coming up just short, unfortunately. Let's get to our supreme leaders here. Mr. Timothy Triplett, his picks were Broncos under 8.5 wins. Looking pretty good. I will say, though, the Broncos are looking a little better here in the last few games. Thoughts?
Russell Wilson has picked up slightly. To be honest, I'm not really worried about this bet really at all. I think they'll still come in well below that 8 line. Not even flirt with it really at all. There was a conspiracy going at the beginning of the season that Sean Payton was brought in to make Russell Wilson look worse, to give them a reason to get rid of him and move on and go with Sean Payton as the guy. But I have no worries about that one, to be honest with you.
That was pretty funny, and that's a funny theory. I like that. I kind of wish that was true. Your second bet, we actually need to have a conversation about this one because we don't know how to grade it. Your second pick was Aaron Rodgers over 3,800.5 passing yards.
That went really well, didn't it?
Well, the thing is, depending on the book,
that was fun for 3 plays.
Depending on the book, a lot of books decided to refund that bet. So
FanDuel took my money.
Did they? All right, so we'll grade it as an L. All right.
Bastards.
You're 0-1 on the season, unfortunately. I'm sorry to hear that. We'll go ahead and grade that as an L.
3 plays into the season, I was down one already. So
I'm sorry. That's really unfortunate.
That was before the Hex too.
That was before the Hex. I know DraftKings, I'm pretty sure they voided all Aaron Rodgers season-long bets. Unless you took an under, they automatically graded it as a win. Some books are nicer and more lenient. That's all I have to say about that.
FanDuel's cutthroat, man.
No, they are. Very my way or the highway. That if you ain't scoring, get the fuck out. And then your last pick for your season-long pick was Browns to make the playoffs. They're definitely in the mix.
I'll say they're in the mix. They're not out. Yeah.
No.
Tough division. Real tough division. You guys started the season really slow in Pittsburgh, but have definitely come back around. And if you can keep Matt Canada on the sidelines instead of up in the press box calling plays, then I think you guys are going to be in the mix for sure. Cincinnati's hitting mid-season form like they do, with Burrow the last couple of years. And I mean, the Ravens, talk about the surprise of the year, just a juggernaut right now. I'd put them up against any team in the NFL right now, outside of maybe the Eagles and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs on a good day too. We've seen the Chiefs on a lot of bad days already this season, and it's not pretty. So, just that's a tough division, and the fact that the Browns are even still in the conversation is fantastic. So.
But okay, that's how we're doing in our season-long bets. Some looking good, some looking bad. Still half a season to go, so plenty of games to play and figure out if those are winners or losers.
Yeah.
I will mention real quick before we get into this week's picks. I forgot to mention our joint TD parlay. Blake and I have won 3 straight. We cashed a big one this past week with Chris Olave and Devontae Smith anytime touchdown scores. Cashed a W this week at plus 841. Like I said, we won.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it felt really good. Again, we're not counting those towards our records. I'm just throwing a few bucks, like $10 on it every week, and that still felt pretty good. That was a huge win for the boys this weekend. But we moved to 3-2 on those on the year. Started 0-2, but we're hot on those. We will be taking a break on that this week, just because there's 3 of us.
A lot to get through.
Yeah, we've got a lot to get through. But without a further ado, week 10, there are 4 teams on bye. We got the Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, and Eagles on a bye. Who wants to go ahead and start?
You got it, boss man.
Me? I mean, yes, I'm excited. All right, so I think we'll go stink draft style here. It'll start with me, then Blake, then Tim again, then Blake, then me, and then I'll go again. Hopefully that makes sense. I think there was some confusion about that last time we tried it. But first pick of the week, I'm going with my game pick. I'm going to Colts -1.5. I got this at -110 this morning at Barstool. The Colts are playing in Germany this week against the Patriots. I'm going to be honest with you. Neither of these teams, I would argue, is a good team. Maybe you could say okay team, average team for the Colts. But neither of these teams are great. The Colts are 4-5 this season, while the Patriots are a lousy, very lousy 2-7. And I'm kind of banking on the Patriots here to keep up their ways of sucking really bad. Like I mentioned, they're 2-7, so one more loss, and they're probably going to mail in the season. Probably get a lot of players given up, kind of change up some offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator type things. When you go 2-8, I mean, it's pretty much over, unfortunately. But the Colts are still very well in the wild card mix. I know the AFC is very jagged and cutthroat, but you're at 5-5. You're sitting at 500. There's nothing to not say you're out of it. I could argue that. So I think the Colts, since they're still in the mix here a little bit, I think they're going to be playing with a little bit more juice here. I think they're going to come with a little bit more energy, and I'm banking on that too. But neither team has a great D, and I trust the Colts offense a lot more than I trust the Patriots offense. They have a lot better weapons. Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., that Downs guy, he's a rookie. He's good. And the GOAT, Gardner Minshew, love him. But the Patriots offense sucks. Both defenses kind of pretty crap. But in a game where Vegas is essentially having this game as a coin flip, I'm going to go ahead and take the team that I think has the ability to score more points and probably a lot more to play for, honestly.
Yeah, I think, when it comes to the Patriots, that's a really weird situation we're looking at right now. I mean, you're taking into question at this point, not really Belichick's legacy, but maybe, the argument of what really was he after Brady left when we're looking back in 10, 15, 20 years. He's in the conversation for one of the greatest coaches ever, without a doubt. But, his handling of Mac Jones has been really suspect from, having Matt Patricia calling plays for him last year. And that I was giving him that as a crutch with his performance last year after his good rookie season. But, this year he's making terrible decisions. His feet look awful. And I'm very unsure about Mac Jones's future, let alone the Patriots. As you said, I think this season's pretty much a wash for them.
Yeah. And I think Blake can agree with me on this. I think me 5 years ago would be very happy to be seeing the Patriots be 2-7 right now. It makes Gabe 5 years ago smile and giddy, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, the Patriots right now, they suck. I don't think the Colts are much better, but it's a game in Germany, so anything can happen. But yeah, I like the Colts win that game as well. So,
Nice.
All right, so I'll move on to my game pick next. I have San Francisco -3 at Jacksonville, and I got this at -110 on FanDuel. So, San Fran, they're coming off their bye week. They're getting a little healthier. They're going to get Debo back. Defense, they got Chase Young. before the bye week, they lost 3 games in a row, which is like it was kind of amazing that they lost 3 in a row. I know most everyone was shocked. I mean, for a team of that caliber to lose 3 in a row, but then they're currently 5-3, and I don't see them dropping to 5-4. I think they're too good of a team to drop to almost 500. And then on the other hand, Jacksonville, I think they're also coming off a bye week. They've won 5 in a row, so they've kind of have reversed scripts before their bye weeks. So I think San Fran has a lot to prove, and I think that they're due to beat a good team in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I like that. I don't like it too much, but mostly because I need Jacksonville to keep winning. So part of me kind of wants you to be wrong, but I think you're probably right. I would not bet Jacksonville this weekend.
Yeah, I think this game has the possibility to be one of the best games of the weekend.
Absolutely.
You know, as you mentioned, Blake, you know, Jacksonville's kind of hot right now. And we know the talent that San Fran has, and it's undeniable. Even though they're kind of hitting some struggles, some roadblocks right now, it's, you know, that's one of the most talented teams in the NFL, and it's going to be really cool to kind of see how the offenses both kind of battle each other, because you know, Jacksonville doesn't have a bad offense either. You know, Trevor Lawrence maybe not having as good a year as we were expecting him to, but still putting up some really good numbers. So yeah, I really like that call. I think San Fran pulls that out as well.
All right, Tim, you want to lead us off with your game pick?
Yeah. So as you guys know, I have the Browns to make the playoffs this year. I don't know why I just go with the Browns sometimes. I think it's because I live with Brent and he just rubs off on me sometimes. But they have a big test this week, as we were mentioning, with the Ravens, just a juggernaut of a team. But I have them to cover 6.5 against Baltimore. That's at -115 on FanDuel. Who will probably find a way to cheat me out of money again some way, somehow. Somehow they'll count half a point, I don't know, and make it a push or whatever. But yeah, the way Cleveland's defense is playing right now is really hard to argue with. One of the best defenses in the league, production wise, and all of that. But they're going to see a Ravens offense that's one of the best in the league. Lamar's playing really well, even though some of his stats don't really reflect it. And you know, I think they, with Deshaun back, I think the Browns have the caliber to kind of keep that game somewhat close. I went with the spread instead of money line because I'm not sure they'll win, but I think they'll keep it close.
Yeah, I like that. I think it'll be a pretty low scoring game. It's usually how these AFC rivalry games go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, divisional game, like pretty much a rivalry game. It's gonna be, you know, low score and close games. So I actually like to pick a lot. So
all right, Tim, you want to lead us off with your second pick?
Oh, I go again? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll go to the game that all three of us are actually attending in person this Sunday at formerly known as Heinz Field. What do they call it now, Blake?
Acrisure Stadium.
Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The good guys, Green Bay Packers, will be going into the enemy territory to see the Pittsburgh Steelers. But you know, I've been very up and down with Jordan Love this year. I came in pretty pessimistic after that week 1 performance against Chicago. I was very optimistic. And then I kind of shifted into a pessimistic optimism. So kind of in the middle, and I've kind of just been going with the ebbs and flows in that. You know, our run game has been struggling. We need to get that established to really get anything going, because Jordan's just not where he needs to be reading NFL defenses yet. But you know, I'm going to go ahead and take his over in passing yards set at 218.5. I did get that at -114 on FanDuel as well. You know, we were going over stats, you know, before we hopped on the recording here, and he's been right at the 225 mark for most of these weeks, these last few weeks, but it just doesn't seem like it. You know, there's not enough happening. We're not putting enough points up, and it's disgusting in my opinion. But I'm not the coach. So yeah, I'm going Jordan Love over his 218.5 passing yards at -114 this week.
Nice. Like Blake said earlier before the show that Steelers allow a lot of passing yards, and the last 2 weeks, I think he's finished a very well earned 228. I think last week or 229 or something like that.
It's a struggle.
Yeah, especially with the Steelers secondary missing Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think the only guy DB they have right now who's worth the damn is Joey Porter Jr. Everyone else is just a crumb bum, and they're not worth anything. So yeah, I expect him. I expect him to go like probably for 250. I'm not even gonna lie. So
I'd love to see it.
All right. Well, I guess it's my turn to say my player prop. So I'm gonna go Josh Allen over 32.5 rushing yards. I got that at -115 on DraftKings. So the Bills play the Broncos Monday night at home, and the Broncos have one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. I know they've been playing pretty well recently. I think they beat the Chiefs 2 weeks ago or something like that. But I think the Bills, I think they're going to start to try to get things moving on offense because they've been pretty sluggish. They're losing games they shouldn't be losing. And I think once they get in these situations, I think Josh Allen tries to make things happen. He tries to run the ball. He's throwing it all over the place. Like he wants the ball and he wants to be the guy that gets the offense going. Clearly, he is the quarterback, but he's gone over this mark in his past 2 games, and I think this will be a perfect game for the Bills to beat down on the Broncos and come out Monday night with the big win and Josh Allen running the football a lot. So.
Yeah, and I like that pick for the reasoning that seems like the Bills often, I think the last 2 or 3 seasons, they'll go into this skid where they start losing. And you know what usually jolts them back into their winning ways is usually starting Josh Allen to run the ball, be a little bit more active. And it's probably not good for his body and health, but it gets the job done and it gets a good result.
Yeah, I like the pick. Josh, you don't see a lot of quarterback rushing props usually. But I think that's one that's well deserved. You made some great points. He's the type of guy he's going to put his body on the line for that team. There's not too many like him with his grit. And especially after taking a tough loss last week against a team, he really wants to beat in the Cincinnati Bengals. You best believe he's gonna come with his best stuff this week against a team that they should beat up on. Obviously, everyone knows I don't like the Broncos, but that in this situation especially, it's not going to be a close game, and you're going to see Josh Allen making things happen in the air and on his feet as well.
All right, I believe it is my turn now, so I will go ahead and give my game pick for this week, player prop for this week. My apologies. So I am going to Will Levis over 225 plus passing yards. I got this for plus 125 today at Caesars. So Will Levis is the new starting QB out of Kentucky for the Titans. He is officially the starter. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he is officially, if Ryan Tannehill is healthy, Levis is still the starter. He's only played 2 games so far this year, but through 2 games, he looks to be pretty legit, probably the second best quarterback to come out of this draft class in this, be a rookie. But last 2 games, he went for 262 last week against the Steelers, and then the week before that, he went for 238. Like I said, I think he's been playing pretty well. They seem to be letting him sling it a good amount just because he has that arm and looks to throw it deep to good receivers like DeAndre Hopkins and Treylon Burks. But this week, Levis has a great matchup that I love. They are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and last week CJ Stroud passed for 470 yards on them. The Buccaneers average 294 passing yards they give up a game. And opposing quarterbacks that play against the Buccaneers have hit this line of 225 in 6 out of the 8 games that they've played so far this year. I really like Will Levis in this spot. Hopefully that Mike Vrabel and the Titans keep letting him sling it and give him a little more trust to keep playing to his strengths. So yeah, give me Will Levis over 225 passing for my player prop.
Yeah, I I like that a lot. Obviously, I was going to take it, and then you already did. So, yeah, I think Will Levis is for those that underrate him. That's a mistake. We didn't really get to see as much of his throwing ability at Kentucky when he was in college. We got to see a little bit, but Kentucky was fighting to be even remotely relevant in the SEC, obviously with all the competition they have down there. But he had a pass. I want to say it was his first start 2 weeks ago. Across his body, across the field, and just placed it perfectly for his receiver in the corner of the end zone. And those are the kind of throws you like to see young quarterbacks making with confidence is the biggest thing, and I'll use, Bryce Young as a example here. He's trying to make a lot of those throws, and you can tell he's just not doing it confidently. And I think that's his biggest issue. But going back to Will Levis, he's making those throws confidently, and he has the arm and the athleticism to do it. And I think he's got a little bit of a bright future going forward. Tennessee might have found the guy.
Yeah. The Bucks pass defense terrible. And then last Thursday, I got to see it firsthand. Will Levis was putting throws, he was dropping them in the bucket, so he's got some talent. So I like it.
He dropped 262 passing on the Steelers, which sucks. But yeah, let's take us home, Mayo Man. For those who are unaware, this guy loves mayonnaise. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Will Levis is a weirdo, but he
eats banana peels too, like banana whole. Like just takes a bite of an unpeeled banana.
Weird.
Psychotic, dude.
Weird as hell. But he's talented, so we'll give him some credit. But it is shameful lock time. Again, these are just our favorite bet of the week. We track this as another category. I unfortunately am 2-3 on these, but look at the bounce back and hopefully get back up to 500. This week I'm riding with going back to an old reliable here. Taking a field goal bet. We're going Jets Raiders over 3.5 field goals. I got this at plus 105 on Bet365. Like I said, I'm coming back to my bread and butter. These are one of my favorite bets to make. I love doing them. I actually placed one tonight on the Panthers-Bears game. Cashed in the first half. Love this bet. Love them. They're often plus money. But the Jets are traveling to Vegas this week to take on the Raiders on Sunday Night Football. As we're all aware, Sunday Night Football games tend to soar with the under. I think the under is hitting at like a 68% percentage of hitting over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Which, if the under is hitting, what that means is probably a lot of field goals. So I think this is a perfect game for this. Neither offense for these teams is great. So they'll probably take points every chance they can get, not getting in the end zone a lot. I just don't trust these offenses to score anything besides field goals. So let's keep that under trend going for Sunday Night Football. And hopefully we see a lot of field goals in this game for once.
Yeah, I mean, field goals, that it really has been your bread and butter. Seems like you win. No, I'm not gonna jinx you. I'm not going down that road. But
I appreciate that.
I like the bet.
Thank you.
Yeah, you explained it pretty well. Neither of these offenses have been really what we expected either of them to be. Obviously the Jets were expecting to be, one of the best offenses, if not one of the best teams in the league, coming in before that loss of Rodgers. And, on the flip side, you got a brand new head coach, just benched your quarterback, and your star wide receiver is pissed off. So, these are both teams that are underperforming, and I think it's a really safe bet, a smart bet, and perfect for a shameful lock.
Thank you. And I love it. Plus money on field goal bets. Give it to me all day.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on to my lock. Speaking of a pissed off star receiver, I'm rolling with George Pickens over 41.5 receiving yards. And I got that line at minus 114 on FanDuel. So over the past 2 games, George only has 3 receptions. And he had this huge freak out on the internet. He deleted all his pictures, posting all this stuff, free me, whatever. But yeah, he went crazy. And I can't blame him. Like they need to get him the ball. He is way too talented to only have 3 receptions over 2 games. So I feel like in these situations, usually the player bounces back. Like the quarterback is going to want to get him the ball just so he stops complaining and stops crying because that's what he did. Green Bay's secondary is pretty banged up and suspect right now. That was insider information from Mr. Tim over here. But yeah, I think that 41.5, I think that line is pretty low for him. And I think he's due to have a big game. So expecting that from him on Sunday.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to tail this bet no matter what you put out. You're 5-0 on these. I'm knocking on wood. My desk is wood. But whatever bet you were throwing out there, I'm tailing. No chance of losing.
Out.
Yeah, I like you had mentioned, Green Bay pretty beat up in the secondary. We just traded away Rasul Douglas. Not sure what the reasoning was there. I think we got a 5th round out of him.
I think it was a third.
Stupid.
Third to the 5th, something like
okay.
that. And Jair, our star cornerback that we just cashed out 2 years ago, is dealing with a shoulder injury, I think. I think we had 2 or 3 rookies play last week in the secondary. So you talk about homework, you're doing homework for a bet. This is that bet. So I fully support it.
Oh, nice.
All right, my lock. This is my first shameful lock ever. So we'll see how this one goes. So naturally, I'm going to pick a rival in this pick. The Lions, man. Our first game against them this year had me, questioning my own life. They're biting kneecaps, just like old ball coach said. Playing really good football on the offensive side of the ball. Not quite as tight on the defense, but it's getting there. Aiden Hutchinson's a dog. Yeah, I like them -3 this week. They play the Chargers, who have had their own struggles, getting the ball to their playmakers, and Herbert, and is just not having the year that he needed to. I think people overestimated Herbert after the last couple of years and wanted to put him in the Mahomes conversation. I think he's a little lower than that. I like the kid. I just don't think he's as good as people think. But yeah, I like the Lions to cover 3 here. I think it's 3 flat.
Yep.
I'll take a push. I don't complain about that. But I got that at -112 on FanDuel as well. But yeah, the Lions playing really good football right now, and I see them kind of continuing that trend.
I like that pick, Tim. I actually was thinking about doing that as one of my leans. I didn't end up going with it, obviously. But talk about the Lions, that Thursday night game, Lions-Packers. Probably one of my favorite moments from you recently that I could think of was you posting on your story was that that video of Homelander just watching that movie. You had edited in the scoreboard of the game, just watching it with the ringing.
It's bad, man.
That's good. That's good content.
Yeah, man. I think the Lions are legit. I think they're going to make it to the NFC Championship game this year. I think they're going to surprise somebody and beat a team like the 49ers or Eagles to get there. But I still think the Chargers are frauds, even though I bet against them last week with the Jets. They're going to Charger. That's just the way it is. Terrible coach. Great roster, but they're just not a great team. So
they have, in my opinion, the potential to be a Super Bowl team with the roster they have, but it's like they're given a full glass of drink and they spill 60% of it on the ground and then give it to you. Or it's not.
Yeah, I think it starts at the head coach, like you said, Blake. It's mismanagement. It's mismanagement of their talent. It's bad play calling. It's poor coaching decisions. They do have a lot of talent, man. Like that is a team that everyone the last few years have been talking about, all the talent that's in the AFC West, and like we mentioned earlier with the Raiders, they're having a down year, and now the Chargers kind of are too. They're in that discussion at least, and the Broncos are the Broncos. So once again, we're gonna have the Chiefs coming out of that division most likely, and that conversation continues to fade. So.
Good. Yeah, I like all of our picks this week. I know we had a little bit of a longer episode, so we will not be having the joint TD parlay, but that will be returning shortly. hopefully everyone tails our bets, and hopefully we obviously go 9-0. Any closing remarks from anyone out there?
Let's go Packers. Time to pull up a big upset this weekend. Big stage. Let's go get it done.
I don't condone that. But yes, we will be at the game, the three of us this weekend. Looking forward to that. It's gonna be a good time. Good to finally get my. I'm gonna butcher this. Permonti brothers. Is that how you pronounce it?
Permanis.
Permanis. I'm excited to try that.
And you can't take anything off the sandwich either. You got to keep it all on. Coleslaw, fries. It's all gonna be on it. It's good, bro. It's good. It's good.
What's on a sandwich? What's on the sandwich?
It's coleslaw, French fries, and then whatever meat you want.
Yeah.
Was it a fat bitch?
No, this isn't TJ's.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was the local sandwich shop on Ohio State campus. They serve a billion sandwiches with like mozzarella sticks and bull crap on. Anyway, that'll close us out for week 10. Tim's waving to somebody, probably somebody behind him.
I'm waving to our loyal fans. Thanks for watching, guys. This is a classic parade wave. When you're driving through a parade, you're looking at everybody, you hit one of these.
I'll give you one of those.
Solid.
Yeah. Everybody hit a parade wave. Oh, he'll give the deuces. All right.
All right.
See you guys next week. I probably won't. They'll see you next week. See you guys.
Thanks for joining us.